Welcome to the weekly writing vlog. Today is Monday, it is January 7th, and we're gonna kick off this episode with some numbers. First, we have my total word count for book, which is currently 60,060 words. Then we have the word count of the revised section, the part of book that is done. For this round, anyways. And that number is 14,234 words. Now, these numbers are not going to rise at the same rate as my word count numbers did when I was drafting. We're in revision mode now, so it's slower. Like, I can't pull those 2,000 word days when I'm revising. Or like, what did I do on the last day? 6,000 words? No way. Although there is something that is kind of scary to me. So Scrivener has this goal target tracker feature where you can put in a deadline and a word count goal, and it will tell you how much you need to write each day to hit that goal. And it will adjust every day depending on if you've been writing more or less than you need to. And according to my target tracker, I need to be adding like 650 words a day to hit the goal that I've set for myself. This is a very intimidating pace for revisions, at least for me. If I was drafting, I wouldn't even blink at this number. Like 650 words, I can do that in a 20-minute sprint. Like that's easy for drafting. But drafting doesn't have to be good. I can just out the words. Now that I'm revising, my focus has shifted into writing good words, not just writing words. Like, this draft doesn't have to be perfect. It's only my first round of revisions. I don't need to put that much pressure on myself, but it has to be decent. It has to be readable. It has to be something that I would be willing to let someone else read and provide feedback on, because that's like the point of this draft. But yeah, anyways, this week's agenda is going to be finishing block 2, which is the top row of Post-its here. Oh, and actually, I finished chapter 9 over the weekend. What up? So the goal for the week is chapters 10 through 14. It shouldn't be too difficult because I have been working a lot on this section already. I've mentioned before that I really build my stories in layers. So like, I've been working on all of block 2 and just like doing pass after pass, cleaning it up and tightening it and fleshing it out a little by little. This approach really works for me because I am a bit of a perfectionist, so I like going through sections that I've already written and improving it little by little, like paying really close attention to word choice and grammar and sentence length and rhythm and cadence and stuff that you're not really supposed to pay close attention to before the developmental edit, because like entire scenes could be deleted, but I do it anyways. So I also like this approach because if I'm working through a chapter and I come to a part that needs work, you know, it's like a bracket scene where like a description or an action sequence is supposed to go there, and I don't know quite how to write it out yet, I don't have to, because I know I'm gonna like do more passes, and by the next time I come around, I might know how to unpack that bracket section. Like right now, chapter 10 is completely revised except for like 2 or 3 little bracket sections. And for me, these like lingering bracket sections are most often transitions between scenes, or like a narrative of time passing, like a montagey bit, or paragraphs of description or action where I'm like, describe the room here, or they fight and so punches someone, and I have to like unpack those. Like, the main thing I need to do to finish chapter 10 is this little section that's gonna be like 1 or 2 paragraphs that's kind of a transition montage section. You know, it's something like, over the next week they fell into a routine, and then a little bit of a description about what that routine looks like before we transition into like the solid scene that the chapter is actually about. I want to finish chapter 10 today. That's the goal. That's enough rambling, I think. I'm gonna go write. Okay, it's Monday night. It's still pretty early. It's only like 7 o'clock. And I just finished chapter 10. So let's go to the window. No, wait, to the wall. Yeah. So, chapter 10 is done, but in revising chapter 10, I only added about 300 words to book so far today because that's all chapter 10 needed. I put in like a solid hour of work on chapter 10, just finishing it up. And it's done. It's at the word count that it needs to be. That's another kind of tricky thing about adding so many words per day during revisions. Like sometimes I have to delete like half a chapter, and that seems so counterintuitive when I have like word count goals. So word count goal is not my focus at all during revisions. I just know that the story is going to grow as I work on it. It didn't grow as much as it should have today, necessarily, but the night is young, you know? And so are we. I mean, I'm young in the grand scheme of things. Anyways, I feel good about completing chapter 10, and I'm probably still gonna work on book later tonight. You know, I was just working on chapter 10, so I can do a pass of 11, 12, 13, 14, and try to add a little bit there. Maybe I will get another 350 words in today to like hit that 650 word count goal. But again, word count goal, not important. It's about the right words, not a lot of words. Revision! I gotta go. Hi, it's Thursday. So I didn't film any updates the last 2 days because I don't have a lot to update you guys on. Like, I haven't finished any chapters. I've been working on chapters 11, 12, and 13 kind of together because they're kind of a sequence. Like, chapter 14 was included in my original goal for the week, but I think I'm gonna push that into next week because chapter 14 is in kind of a sequence with chapters 15 and 16, and it's just like, it's better to work on those three together and to just focus on finishing up 11, 12, and 13, these three this week. I'm not adding a ton of words. Like, I haven't hit my daily word count goal of 650 at all this week, but I have been coming close. Like, I've been adding more like 500 words a day. So I'm not too worried. Like, I'm not really falling behind. Again, word count isn't the goal. It's about finishing the chapters and making them the best that they can be. And I think I'm doing that. Like, I'm really happy with how these three chapters, 11, 12, and 13, are coming together. And the thing is, they're almost done. Like, that's why it's hard to add a ton of words, because they don't need more words. They just need a bit of, like, refining and sometimes deleting. Like, I'm adding sentences here and there and adjusting sentences, adding a couple words to existing sentences. Like, that's where these words are coming from. If I was just writing 600 words in one scene, that would be easier than adding 600 words to a 3,000 word section where you have to, like, sprinkle those words in. So to sum up, word count, not important. Well, it's a little important. Like, I do still want to tell you guys my word count, because when it does go up, it's pretty cool. And it's gonna go up a lot this weekend. Not the total word count, but the revised word count. Because I don't count chapters in my revised word count until they are completely done. So chapters 11, 12, and 13 are almost done. Like, they each need a little bit of work. And once I do that little bit of work and finish those chapters, I'm gonna get to add like 6,000 words to my revised word count. So everything's fine. So yeah, the goal today is to just keep working on this little section of 3 chapters. I'm gonna try to make myself finish chapter 11 because, like, it's almost done. There's just a couple little bracket sections that I need to make myself do. It's just like the boring scene transition stuff. Like what am I doing today? So one of my remaining bracket sections that I'm gonna try to, like, unpack today, it's just a little paragraph, like maybe 4 sentences. Basically, a character is going to serve detention at school, and it's a little paragraph of, like, welcome to detention. This is what the room is like. This is what detention is gonna be like. And it's just like 3 sentences of narrative that I need to write to bridge, like, the before and the after, because those parts are already solid and done. I just need this little welcome to detention bridge. Also, totally unrelated, but I want to show you guys my desktop background. This is the kind of energy we're about in 2019, you know? Anyways, I'm gonna go write. Got some chapters to finish. Are you crooked? You know what? It's fine. This is gonna be a quick update. So, I decided since my characters were in detention, I should be in detention too. So I put myself in writing detention, where all I was allowed to do was sit at my desk and write until chapter 11 was done. And I'm not at the desk anymore, which means, yeah. I don't know my word count totals right now because my laptop is downstairs. I'll put them right here. Yeah! Okay, I'm gonna go eat dinner and then maybe I'll put myself in writing detention again because it worked. And I have 2 more chapters to finish this weekend. I'm not pointing at them at all. 2 more chapters to finish this weekend! Hi, it's Friday. I haven't finished a chapter, so I don't have a real update. But I forgot about this screenshot that I took yesterday that I wanted to show you. This is the Welcome to Detention bracket section that I was working on yesterday. It's not a spoiler, so I can show you guys what I mean when I'm talking about these bracket sections. Like, I know what's supposed to happen, I just don't know exactly how it plays out yet. And with every one of these little bracket sections, of which there are so many in my manuscript, with every one I am faced with the choice of how much do I unpack this? Like with this one, am I going to keep it short and straightforward and just do a little bit of narrative and just flesh this out? Or do I unpack it even more and have like a full scene where the character walks into the room and describes it and meets the teacher and the teacher explains the situation? There's a bit of a dialogue back and forth. In this specific situation, I elected not to do that because this book is already too long and it's stressing me out. And also it just wasn't necessary to unpack that situation further. Like, there's no purpose in going deep in the parameters of the detention. Like, I just needed a little paragraph to set the scene that looks similar to this, but like much better. Also, another bracket section in chapter 11 that I had to do yesterday was this. The little transition period from detention to out of detention. So yeah, I hope that gives you a little more insight into what I'm dealing with here. I wish I could show you guys like some befores and afters as examples, but I can't for this project just now. I do have some ideas for some like really in-depth process videos like that though, so stay tuned. Okay, so it's Sunday and I have finished chapter 12! So yesterday I finished chapter 12 and I also worked quite a bit on chapter 13 and I didn't quite finish it, but I do only have like 2 little remaining bracket sections that I just need to make myself finish and chapter 13 will be done. And with chapter 13 done, the first act will be done. It's like the first 23,000 words, the first 100 pages or so. Done. Done. It feels so good. And also, it feels weird. Like, this forward momentum is not something I'm used to. Like, I'm definitely not moving as fast as I was when I was drafting, but compared to previous revisions, I am flying. Like, I was doing storyteller revisions this time last year, and it was so slow going compared to this. Like, I would work on a block, a section of like 8,000 words or so. I would work on that for months. And like, I don't know how much of that was because of the project or the timing or just like me and my mental state at the time. But the fact that I made it through a block, I made it through like 9,000 words in a week, and I'm happy with the work I did. I can't believe it. It's so weird, but also very awesome. Like, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just weirded out. I am having such a good time revising. Like, even I am like, sounds fake, but okay. And a couple people have asked me, like, how are you doing this? What is the key to your success? And the key to my success, I think, is that I just spent like the last 3 years being really depressed and creatively blocked. And I do not recommend that at all. But now that I'm through it, and I can, like, contrast the present with the past, I am having such a good time. Like, everything's great. Anyways, I gotta go finish chapter 13. Like, that's my goal. If I can finish chapter 13 tonight, which I'm totally going to, that'll put my total words added at about 2,500 for the week. And that is low for how much I want to be adding overall each week. But I have added, like, 9,000 words to my revised word count total. And that is a good pace. I'm very, very happy with that. And I think the main reason my overall word count didn't really go up a whole lot this week is because of the section I was working on. Like, Act 1 was already pretty solid. I had already done so much work on it that I didn't need to add a ton to it. I have no idea what kind of pace I'm gonna be able to maintain moving into the second act. Because, like, beginnings are always a lot easier for me. I love the first act. I'm really good at writing a solid first act. And now the first act is done. And we're moving into Act 2. And I'm out of my comfort zone. And this is terrifying. But yeah, this was a good week. This was a nice start to my revision process. And I really, 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 really hope the rest of it is as nice. Whew. But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this video today. I have to go finish chapter 13 because I need to get rid of that last post-it up there. Gonna put myself in writing detention and get it done. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Monday with another weekly writing vlog. Bye!